There is absolutely nothing that is keeping you from building. If you have a laptop, if you have network, you can create anything you would ever want. It's only you and your motivation.
So how did you actually learn your way around NFTs?
I was curious about, it was big trend in NFTs. Everyone was talking about it. I was like, well, I'm creative. I can make art. Let's make some money out of this. So LaunchX is an entrepreneurship program for high school students. So you have to do an application for that. They accept 80 students. You fly to the program. I think there are scholarships available as well. They put you into teams of 4. You basically create a business there.
Now I want to talk about your latest project, Foundity. What is Foundity?
Foundity is a platform for anyone to build their first business. We use currently an AI interview to collect the data of users, and then using that data, we create a personalized building path.
And to every teen listening today, Isabelle didn't have it all figured out when she started. She just started. So stop waiting for that perfect moment or that perfect time. Just take that first step. What if I told you that the next billion-dollar founder isn't in their 30s or pitching in Silicon Valley? They're still in high school. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the AI Parenting Institute. I'm your host, Ryan Ali. Today's guest is Isabelle Dijkhorst, an 18-year-old founder who's basically speedrunning entrepreneurship. At 17, she flew to California to attend the LaunchX event at UC Berkeley and launch Foundity, an AI-powered incubator helping young founders learn, connect, and actually build real startups without the hassle of 10 different apps. She's spoken at a web summit, given a TEDx talk, and she's scaling from San Francisco, all while still in high school. So if you're a parent who thinks your teen needs to wait to start, or a student holding back because you think you're not ready, this episode might change that. Isabelle, thank you so much for being here, and welcome to the podcast.
No worries. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So Isabelle, can you walk me through your childhood? You originally wanted to be an artist, right? What made you pivot from art to entrepreneurship, and how did that whole shift happen?
So essentially I've always been a very creative person. I always like to build things. So being young, my natural instinct was, okay, creative equals art. That obviously changed as I grew. I learned more about different industries, different jobs. Essentially you don't have to be employed. You can also create something yourself. So yeah, that's how that transition happened.
At 13, you were already experimenting with business ideas, and I'm sure not everything worked out perfectly. So what was an early failure or rejection that really taught you something valuable about entrepreneurship?
I don't think there was something in particular that was a failure, but when you're young, you starting new things, you don't know everything, right? So just there are assumptions you may make that you're proven wrong. You make mistakes. I think that is just something that you do as you start early, which is also a big advantage of starting early in entrepreneurship. You get to try different things. You keep learning, but moving fast, I suppose, yeah.
At 13, you were also dabbling with digital marketing, while most of us at 13 are just trying to survive school. So what made you realize that you had to start building stuff at such an early age?
Yeah, so being creative, I was like, okay, I can use my creativity to cater to businesses. That was sort of my first connection. So I started making digital marketing campaigns for different companies, making their marketing materials for their audiences so that there I got to learn market research, customer research. I'm looking into the purposes of what they might want with their marketing. So then I created a couple marketing campaigns for really cool startups.
I'm assuming at 14 you got into NFTs, and when I first heard about them at 12, I didn't understand this whole Web 3.0 thing. It sounded like a bunch of mumbo jumbo, and I didn't really understand it. So how did you actually learn your way around NFTs?
There was a big trend in NFTs. Everyone was talking about it. I was like, well, I'm creative. I can make art. Let's make some money out of this. So I just used the internet to learn the process. I just learned you have to create some artworks, digital artworks. You have to make an account for a crypto wallet. You have to choose a currency, list on OpenSea and stuff like that. Just lots of reading. Took a while because I was like, well, what does that mean? It was pretty difficult being young, but yeah, just reading online, yeah.
If you don't mind sharing how much money you made off NFTs?
It was just 200 because I made a couple, but I was I didn't know quite how to find my customers well at the time. So yeah.
So I saw you were doing some stock market analysis around 15. plus NFTs, and some AR VR stuff. So, what really pulled you into analyzing tech stocks, and how does a 15-year-old even start doing that?
Yeah, so you're technically not allowed to do it when you're 15. I had to do it through my dad. Yeah, I just like looked at the New York Stock Exchange. I looked at different opinions of different people of how to like look into trading patterns, like look at the candlesticks and like resistance patterns and stuff. Like I had to learn all of that as well. But it was like always creative. I always like to look at patterns and find patterns and systems. So it was just something I was curious about. So I looked at the opinions of different people who looked into that. Because everyone has a different opinion as well.
At just 15, how do you manage your time so well? Were your parents helping you? Because school was nonstop. So how did you balance your workload?
I had to be careful not to completely forget about school, but I just did that just by making sure I got all the schoolwork done. And when I had breaks, I would do these other projects I was working on. It also kind of helped me have breaks with my schoolwork, like switching tasks. So I would, like during lunch, for example, like just work on my own thing or finish my homework and stuff.
From NFTs to tech stocks, walk me through the day in the life of Isabelle while you were doing these things. You woke up, went to school, came home, and then can you walk me through the rest of your day?
Yeah, so unlike some people in the industry who like worked in the morning before school, I just went to school. Probably not supposed to do this, but like during classes, I would kind of, while the teacher was talking about something I already knew, I would already be like doing my own thing, like answering investor emails, whatever, on my laptop and working on my own thing during class sometimes if I felt the class wasn't really relevant. And then during breaks, I would do my homework. Yeah, I was made sure that I understood everything. I was on top of everything, pretty organized. I had lists, tasks for every day. And then I went home. I walked home. Nice walk from my school because it was like next to canal and stuff. I had a small break. Then I did my homework or I did like my own project depending on how much I worked at school. And then, yeah, once I finished that, I would start working on my own projects till pretty late.
Fast forward to 17, you decide to fly to California alone for the LaunchX. Now, we'll get into LaunchX in a bit, but first, can you tell me how your parents even allowed that, since it's a pretty big step at 17?
I was already talking so much about it that summer. Like, I have to go to some program somewhere. I have to create a new business with people my age. So it was like I was already drilling it into their brain for a while. They were like, okay, just go. It was pretty wild because I flew there by myself, which is uncommon. I never went to the US before, and I kind of just flew at 17 by myself all the way there, which is pretty wild. But yeah, they're pretty open parents, so I was lucky with that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, now can you tell us what LaunchX is and what really happened there?
So LaunchX is an entrepreneurship program for high school students. So essentially they take you can choose location and a cohort. They essentially take like 80 students from across the world, can be from anywhere. You have to do like long application. You have to like record a video, which can take, the application can take many hours, which is also how it filters like all those super ambitious driven students. So you have to do an application for that. They accept like 80 students. You fly to the program. I think there are scholarships available as well. And you're put into teams with people who they believe you match the skills they have, you match the experience they have. So they put you into teams of 4 and you basically create a business there. So for a month. Yeah.
Sounds exciting. Yeah. Okay, now I want to talk about your latest project, Foundity. What is Foundity?
So Foundity is a platform for anyone to build their first business. We are developing, iterating, but we use currently an AI interview to collect the data of users to understand their story and what they want to build. And then using that data, we create a personalized building path and operating system. So we help them get that knowledge that they're missing. We help them get that team that they're missing with our co-founder tool. And we keep all context of what they're doing from day -1.
And you have a way to secure the data that you're collecting, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you ensure AI in Foundity is assisting founders rather than distracting them from real human relationships and the community?
Yeah, so we find that very important because many tools online look at qualifications, technical skills, but ignore the human factors like compatibility, leadership style, work style, and actually getting stuff built. So we are creating a public building space where people showcase what they're building, specifically which milestones they're creating, and allowing people to build together. So fostering like communications with chats, following, sort of creating that social space.
So, for the teens listening right now who are building quietly in their rooms, maybe scared to put themselves out there or start something real, what is one thing you'd tell them that would actually make them take action today?
There is absolutely nothing that is keeping you from building. If you have a laptop, if you have network, you can create anything you would ever want. It's only you and your motivation and drive to do it. It's all up to you. Like, you have all the tools you need. Like, don't make excuses for yourself. Yeah.
One last question before we end. I'd like to know how you manage your time so well with friends and social lives, since it seems like you have a lot of work.
It can be difficult, especially like as entrepreneurs in SF, San Francisco. There's a massive mindset of being locked in. So working like from the moment you wake up to the moment you sleep very late, still trying to find that balance. But this is something we talk about in the Hacker House I live as well, the residency. Giving yourself that time to socialize, have fun is also how you foster that creativity and generating ideas. Like, if you're constantly in output mode, you don't generate, you know? So it's like you have to give yourself that time. Having a schedule helps a lot. Yeah.
Isabelle, thank you so much for sharing your story today. From wanting to be an artist at 13 to now building Foundity and pitching at a web summit. You really proved something powerful today. You don't need a college degree to build a company. You just need the curiosity and courage. And to the parents listening, supporting your kids' curiosity isn't about having all the answers. It's about giving them the space to experiment and learn. And to every teen listening today, Isabelle didn't have it all figured out when she started. She just started. So stop waiting for that perfect moment or that perfect time. Just take that first step. And if a 17-year-old can move to San Francisco and pitch to VCs, you can take that first step today. So share this episode with someone who needs to hear it and join us on the journey for responsible innovation here at the AI Parenting Institute. Once again, I'm Rayan, and thank you for trusting me with your time and your biggest parenting concerns. Until next time, let's keep building a future where kids don't adapt to change, they create it. Thank you, Isabelle.
Awesome.